بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So we're doing another topic on advanced structures, and this is the topic of ضمير pronouns. Okay, it's slightly more advanced than what we've covered so far in basic Nahu. So it has some additions that we're going to cover today, inshallah. So basically, there are about 6 types of pronouns, different kinds of pronouns. We have the inside pronoun, the outside pronoun, attached pronoun, referee pronoun, fact of the matter pronoun, the extracted pronoun. These are all my terms, okay? So don't be like, well, these are not official names. These are just how I'd like to call them. And we'll go into details as to what they are, okay? Now, the inside pronoun, we already covered this in Nahu a while back. You know, like, for example, when we're doing the pronoun, was it the Muslim one chat? For example, if I say ذهبت, I went, and I asked you, where's the pronoun there? Because I said I went, and it's just ذهبت. You will tell me that the pronoun is inside, and because it ends with to, then it means I. Yeah. So you already know that. So that's the inside pronoun, basically. ذهبت, ذهبنا. That's the inside pronoun. Okay. Then you have the outside pronoun, what I'm calling the outside pronoun. Now, the outside pronoun is, for example, huwa ذهب. Huwa is no, like it's not huwa ذهب. What example can I use? But basically, it's the pronoun that it's independent. It's huwa, huma, hum, antum, anti. It's an independent, unattached pronoun. Okay, so it's independent. And we know the independent pronouns. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antum, antum, all the way up to the end, right? So those are the outside or independent or detached pronouns. And then you have the attached pronouns, okay? And the attached pronouns, these are pronouns that are attached, for example, to an isim, ismuhu, kitabuhu, qalamuhu. The hu or the ha or the kum or the ki, those are the attached pronouns. Or arsalna, no, that is arsalna, that is inside pronoun. But if I said, for example, ja'a bika, so that ka would be the attached pronoun, for example. Yeah. So those 3 we already covered in basic Nahu. And just maybe for purposes of our own, if you come across these words, inside pronoun in Arabic is called damir mustatir. Mustatir. Outside pronoun is called damir al-munfasil. Munfasil. Munfasil. Yeah, munfasil. Fasala, to separate. So munfasil, the detached or the separated pronoun. So mustatir, munfasil. And then the attached is called muttasil. Muttasil. Attached pronoun. Those 3 we've already covered. You are familiar with that. Now, today, inshallah, it's going to be a very short and an easy topic to cover, because we're going to focus on these other 3 pronouns. The referee pronoun, which in Arabic is called damir al-fasl. And then we have the fact of the matter pronoun, which is called damir al-sha'n. And then you have the extracted pronoun, which is the basically atuf on damir mustatir. Okay, so these are the So those are the 3 that we're going to focus on, right? So let's get right to it. Let's start with the first one, damir al-fasl. Damir al-fasl, the referee pronoun. Now, this is a kind of independent pronoun. And when I say independent pronoun, I'm talking about huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna. That kind of, like, it's not attached to anything. It's independent. It's on its own. So it's a kind of independent pronoun that comes between a mubtada and a khabar. Okay, comes between a mubtada and a khabar. So in the name, you can see referee pronoun. It referees between a mubtada and a khabar. It comes in between. So it's kind of like a referee in between a mubtada and a khabar. and it has to match the mubtada, whatever came before it, in number and gender. Okay, so that's basically when you see a situation that looks like a mubtada and a khabar, and in between there's a pronoun, then that pronoun is your referee pronoun. The mubtada remains a mubtada, the khabar remains a pronoun, and this dhamir does something extra. Let's see what it does. So there are three main functions or three main roles of a dhamir al-fasl, of a referee pronoun. Number one, confirming the khabar. So it's there to confirm, to tell you that this is actually the khabar. Like, don't be confused because it has al on it. By the way, the khabar is always going to have al on it. So you see the khabar has al on it and you're like, but we said khabar is almost always common, right? Almost always common. It's not 100% that it's going to be common, but then it's always, it's almost always common. There's that 0.01% where it's actually proper. So this is one of those cases where it happens, where you have the khabar has al on it. It's actually proper. Yeah. So it just tells you, the pronoun comes in between to tell you this is the mubtada on this side, and on this side is the khabar. This mostly happens when we have ismul ishara and musharun ilayh. Okay, so we learned that when you have pointer plus al, you have an ismul ishara and musharun ilayh. You have a fragment, basically, right? But what if the al, the part of the al is actually a khabar? Then what you do, you bring in dhamir al-fasl, so that this dhamir al-fasl tells you that this is actually the khabar, this is the mubtada. That dhalika huwa al-mudarris. That is the teacher. That is the teacher. So you bring in the invisible is. It's no longer an ismul ishara. It now becomes a mubtada khabar situation. Or for example, you're just confirming at-tulabu humul hadirun. At-tulabu, the students, humul hadirun, they are the ones who are attending. At-tulabu humul hadirun, the students are the ones who are attending, or the two students, they are attending. That's the literal translation of it. The students, they are attending. If you remove this hum, you would see that you have at-tulabu, you can remove the al because now it's a normal khabar. So at-tulabu hadirun, the students are attending. So it's a mubtada khabar situation. Same thing. If you remove the al and you just say dhalika mudarrisun, that is a teacher, it becomes mubtada khabar. So you see this huwa comes in to just tell you that what is on this side is the mubtada and what is on this side is khabar. That's the first function of dhamirul fasl. The second function is exclusivity, ikhtisas. We've come across this word a lot. You know, it creates exclusive meaning that is solely for a particular person or a particular thing. The attribute exists only for this. This is where we translate with only. This is ikhtisas, right? When we translate with only. So sometimes dhamirul fasl comes with the meaning of ikhtisas, exclusivity. For example, if I say inna allaha huwa ar-rahmanu ar-rahim, certainly Allah, or indeed Allah, no doubt Allah, He is the only ar-Rahman and He's the only ar-Rahim. Yeah. So I'm exclusively saying, and by using this huwa, I'm exclusively declaring that the attributes of ar-Rahman and ar-Rahim belong only to Allah. Because I could say inna Allah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but by using the huwa, I am exclusively adding the meaning. I am adding ikhtisas into the meaning. Yeah. And then the last function of this pronoun, dhamir al-fasl, is a tawkid, emphasis. We've come across this before, emphasis. And we talked about this when we were talking about tawkid. When you see a pronoun after it, when you see the pronoun being repeated, remember when we were discussing tawkid, we said there's two kinds of tawkid al-lafzi, tawkid of wording, and a tawkid al-ma'nawi, the tawkid of meaning. And when we were discussing tawkid al-lafzi, we also mentioned pronouns in there. We said if the pronoun is repeated, then that is tawkid of wording, the same word is repeated. So in other words, you have nahnu here, and we also have nahnu here. So we are repeating nahnu. So it is tawkid Yeah, so the other function of this kind of pronoun is to add emphasis. So for example, in this example that we have here, كنا نحن الحاضرين. كنا نحن الحاضرين. Say for example, you attended a lecture and somebody is questioning you and is like, are you sure you're the ones who attended? And you're like, yeah, كنا نحن الحاضرين. Yeah, we are the ones who attended. So you're adding emphasis to the fact that it is you, or you're trying to prove a point by adding emphasis that you are the ones who attended. Okay. So in order to understand if it's ضمير الشأن, just try and remove it. Sorry, ضمير الفصل. If you want to see if it is ضمير الفصل, referee pronoun, just remove it from the sentence and try and see if it is a مبتدا خبر. If you remove the al from the خبر, does it become like a مبتدا خبر situation? And then that tells you that this is ضمير الفصل. Any questions on that? So it's a pretty basic, simple topic. But if you guys have any questions, again, feel free. Yes, Fauzia, you've raised your hand. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. This last example, كنا نحن الحاضرين. You place the R in between we. So كنا نحن, we. Yes, we are the present ones.
Yeah.
So then the invisible is coming between. So is نحن part of the مبتدا or part of the khabar then?
This is just a ضمير الفصل. It's just a ضمير الفصل. That's how
you
you're
would
going to
not
see
even.
it.
Oh, it
Yeah.
wouldn't even be part of any of those two. Okay.
Yeah, you can just say here it's a توكيد. ضمير الفصل توكيد. It's not part of the مبتدا, it's not part of the khabar. It's just there for emphasis or exclusivity or to differentiate between مبتدا and khabar. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're adding emphasis to the sentence, you even imagine it's not there, and then you just add emphasis to it. If you're adding exclusivity, you imagine it's not there, you add only to it. If you're just distinguishing between the khabar, you don't even need to do anything. You just said this is that, or mubtada, then invisible is khabar. Is that clear? Okay. So we go to the second kind of pronoun that we're going to cover at this time, and that is fact of the matter pronoun. That's how I call it. But in Arabic, you would see it as ضمير الشأن. الضمير الشأن. Okay, the pronoun that basically gives importance to something. Yeah, it gives importance to something. And this pronoun, it doesn't refer back to anything that came before. Normally, pronouns, when you have a pronoun, for example, if I say Fatima came today, she was visiting me. So Fatima came today, and then I bring a pronoun to refer back to who? To Fatima. So Fatima came today, she was visiting me. So I use a pronoun to refer back to something that came before. That's how it works. You can't just I can't just come to you and say, hey, they came. You'll be like, who? Who are we talking about? You have to explain, you have to give me details. You can't just talk like that. You have to tell me, okay, the students came. They attended the class. Now that makes sense. That's how pronouns work in any language, basically. But in Arabic, there's this kind of special kind of pronoun that just comes at the beginning of stuff, of sentences, and it doesn't refer to anything in particular that came before. In fact, the fact that it comes in the beginning of a sentence means it doesn't refer back to anything. Okay, so it will always come at the beginning of a sentence. It's not going to refer to anything before it, and it can be inside, it can be outside, it can be attached. And when it is attached, it's going to be mostly attached to a harf of nasab. For example, innahu or ka'annahu. Mostly it's inna, it comes with inna. Yeah. So you see something like that. And you can only have the huwa and the hiya version. You cannot have innaka. You'll only have innahu or innaha. If it's something you're referring to something that is feminine, you would say innaha. If it's something that is masculine, you say innahu, or you would basically say huwa or hiya. If it's an independent outside pronoun, you say huwa or hiya. If it is attached to a harf of nasab, you would say innahu, innaha. If it's inside, it will probably come into the verb itself. And we'll see an example of that, hopefully. And then what does it do? It basically shows the importance of the sentence, to give the importance of whatever is happening. And you cannot have a pronoun after it going back to it. What do I mean by this? For example, you cannot say the one who ate it, and this it goes back to the shan. You cannot do that. Otherwise, it will not be the shan. It will be another pronoun that refers back to another thing. Yeah. So this pronoun is just a standalone type of thing that gives importance to a matter, and it doesn't refer back to anything, and nothing is referred to it. So it's just a standalone type of thing. And I think it'll become clearer when you see some examples. So take, for example, we said it can come as a huwa. So we have this example. Huwa al-qa'idu qadim. Huwa al-qa'idu qadim. Now, how do I know that this is the damirul shan? I try and translate it and say, okay, he is the leader coming. He is the leader coming. It doesn't sound so smooth. But when I say the fact of the matter is the leader is coming. So you see now this who I'm translating it as the fact of the matter is the leader is coming. So this becomes my mubtada, this becomes my khabar. And this is the damirul shan in the beginning. The fact of the matter is the leader is coming. Okay? Or here al-bintu najiha. Here al-bintu najiha. The fact of the matter is the girl is succeeding or winning, or I don't know how you translate najiha. Like najaha yanjahu, to succeed. So the fact of the matter is that the girl is succeeding, is winning, is becoming successful, is, yeah. So that's using huwa version. This is using here version. And then you have, I said it can also be attached to a harf of nasab. For example, innahu ja'a ams. Innahu ja'a ams. The fact of the matter is he came yesterday. Okay. Now here, I'm sure some of you are thinking, wait, innahu ja'a ams, can we translate that as certainly he came yesterday? Yeah, you can. So this is where the context is important. Where does this sentence, how is this sentence appearing into the context of the conversation or the text? Did I come to you and we were not discussing anything before, and I just said, innahu ja'a ams. The fact of the matter is he came yesterday. We were not talking about anything. I just came to you, and that was my first statement I made to you. Then that becomes damirul shan. I'm actually trying to make it important that, hey, listen, thing is, he came yesterday. Okay? But what if we were just talking about somebody and you were telling me we were talking about, say, Muhammad, and I said to you, innahu ja'a ams. Yeah, certainly, he came yesterday. You asked me, did Muhammad come yesterday? And I said, yeah, innahu ja'a ams. Yeah, he came yesterday. So you see how we distinguish damirul shan from other pronouns. If it is a matter that was discussed before, then it becomes just a normal pronoun. But if it's something that is out of the blue, out of nowhere, in the beginning of a sentence, not referring to anything before, I just come to you and I say, innahu ja'a ams. Fact of the matter is he came yesterday. And of course you'd be asking me who. Yeah. So, but that's the whole point about, yeah, it would be correct to say that this damir comes without context, in a sense that it doesn't go back to anything before it. Like, if you translate it as the fact of the matter is, it makes sense. Yeah, if you put the fact of the matter is before it, it makes sense. That's how you translate this damir. Okay, so this is when it is attached to a harf of nasab. Now, how does it come as an inside pronoun? Let's take an example here. Let me delete this. Okay. What will be the i'rab of innahu ja'a ams? So innahu, we would say that inna is harf of nasab and the hu is basically damirul shan. That's how you will see. And then ja'a would be fi'al madi. And the damir, the fa'il is huwa, the inside pronoun huwa, and ams will be darf. So this one, you don't really consider it. If it is a damirul shan, you don't consider it as a mubtada. You're just going to consider it as damirul shan. And then you continue. But if it is not, if it's part of a normal sentence, if it's part of a normal damir, then this will be your mubtada, basically. Yeah. All right. So this is harf of nasab. Then we look at how does it come as an inside pronoun. So I said it comes as an inside pronoun, outside pronoun, or attached pronoun. We've seen outside pronoun, we've seen attached. Now we can look at inside pronoun. For example, كان العالم مشغولا. Yeah. كان العالم مشغولا. So علم يعلم علما فهو عالم, a scholar, somebody who knows a lot, a knower. كان العالم مشغولا. So let's take a scenario. Take a scenario. I come to you and I tell you, كان العالم مشغولا. Fact of the matter is, the scholar was busy. I'm just saying it out of nowhere. Like, there's no context behind it. We were not discussing about some scholar. I just tell you, oh, the scholar was busy. Then that becomes, so the pronoun inside here, inside kana, becomes damiru sha'n. Okay? Damiru sha'n. So the pronoun inside kana becomes the damiru sha'n. But what if there's a context? What if, you know, somebody sends me to a scholar to check if I can be able to, you know, maybe give some books or something. And I go to the scholar and I find him busy. So I go back and report, or somebody asks me, hey, how did he go with the scholar? And I say, كان العالم مشغول. He was actually busy. Yeah, he was busy. So I'm answering based on a particular context that was there before. So it's referring to something else. But this is just كان العالم مشغولا. The fact of the matter is, or maybe I'm just saying it as a general thing. Scholars are generally busy. Yeah. كان العلماء مشغولة or مشغولين, because now it's plural. Yeah. So something like that. This is not a very common usage. Most of the time you would see like these three usages happening. I don't know if this happens in the Quran. I'm yet to confirm that. But of course, these three, they come. I've seen the huwa and the innahu, they come a lot in the Quran. Any questions on that? Okay.
This last one was really unclear.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, this
I
one.
didn't
This one.
understand it
There
because
comes an ayah, right? Kanallahu Ghafurur Rahim.
Yeah, if there's no context to it, then the inside pronoun in that would be damiru sha'n. Yeah. Actually, I will check one of those and see if they say that. So, okay, think of it this way. Okay. You send me to the scholar with some books. Okay. I go to the scholar, I knock, I see that he's busy, I come back. And then you ask me, hey, how did he go with the scholar? Did you manage to give him the books? And then I say, كان العالم مشغولا. He was busy. Okay. So there's I don't know how to explain this in easier terms. But when I say the fact of the matter is, the scholar was busy. العالم مشغولة. The scholar was busy. Yeah. So basically, I'm saying that if there's no context, and I'm just coming to you, maybe I saw him as busy. Maybe that we didn't have a discussion. There was no context. There was no like anything, and then I just come to you and I'm like, كان العالم مشغولة. The fact of the matter is, the scholar was busy. Yeah, something like that. I know it's not yeah.
The damiru sha'n should be at the beginning of the sentence, right? It shouldn't be connected to any of the content before, right?
Yeah. It's
So here when
in the beginning.
yeah, it always comes to the business. But if I had this kana alim al majbula, this in case if you don't say it also, it doesn't seems like it is the mirushan. It seems like the normal sentence, but the kana is having a square in it, isn't it?
So we said a damiru sha'n can be three types. It can be outside, like huwa here. It can be like independent, huwa here. It can be attached to a harf of nasab, like innahu, ka'annahu, bi'annahu, bi'annaha. So it can be like this. It can also be inside. So when it is inside, then you're having a فعل. So you're having a فعل that, for example, like كان is a فعل ناقص, it's an incomplete فعل, and the pronoun inside كان is هو. The pronoun inside كان is هو. So that pronoun inside كان, the هو that we're talking about, that is the one that we are saying is going to be the ضمير الشأن. And you can see it comes at the beginning of the sentence. Yeah. So this كان basically is going to be treated as ضمير الشأن. And of course, this is the isim of كان. So this is, I know this is a little bit strange, but just be aware that, you know, ضمير الشأن can come as an inside pronoun. In case maybe you're reading a tafsir and you see they mention that, you know, the pronoun inside this verb is ضمير الشأن. It's not totally a strange notion. You actually, like, you have some idea to it, yeah, of how that works. It's not a very common thing. I don't think it's a common thing, but just for you to have that idea that the pronoun inside a verb at the beginning of a sentence can be ضمير الشأن, can be the fact of the matter pronoun. Yes, also, yeah. It will also be for here and huwa. You cannot have like kunna or kuntu. It's always going to be huwa or here. Versions of that as well. Any other questions on that? I will find maybe a Quran example of this one and share it. And maybe if we have time at the end of the class, I'm sure we have, I can check in the tafsir book to see. So we go to the last one, the last kind of pronouns that we didn't cover before, and this is the extracted pronoun. That's how I call it, extracted pronoun, and you'll see why. In Arabic, in the book, in Arabic Bayna textbook, this is how they called it. They called it al-'atf ala ضمير al-mustatir. Now we did harf عطف. We did the concept of connectors and harf عطف. Now, the most important thing we mentioned when we were doing عطف connectors, we said you cannot connect an isim to a fi'al. You cannot connect a fi'al to an isim. For example, you cannot say a ball, then he slept. What does that mean? A ball, then he slept. You cannot do that. You cannot say he went, then a banana, or he went and a banana. What is that? Doesn't make sense. So you say an orange and a banana, or you say he went, then he slept. That's how you do it. That's the correct way of doing it. But what if I want to say you and I went? You and I went. So how do I say that in Arabic, considering that we cannot, you know, you cannot connect a verb to an isim? Okay, so basically the extracted pronoun, this is an independent pronoun, which means it's an outside pronoun or a detached pronoun, like a huwa, hiya, anta, antum, all of them. It's an independent pronoun that matches with the pronoun of the verb, and it is not translated or repeated. Okay, and of course it comes with connectors. It comes, this is the key thing. It has to be a connecting. You're connecting one thing to the other. For example, I want to say raja'a. I want to say he returned. He and the boy returned. He and the boy returned. That's what I want to say. I won't say raja'a wal walad, because I know there's the pronoun inside here is huwa. So I say, okay, the huwa is already mentioned. Why should I repeat it? Raja'a wal walad. No, this is wrong. You cannot do this. You cannot say raja'a wal walad. This is a verb. This is an isim. We do not connect verbs and isims like that. That does not happen. What we do, however, is if the pronoun is huwa, we bring it out. We extract it out. Now we have an isim. Now we can connect an isim to an isim. Now that is correct. Raja'a huwa wal walad. He returned, him and the boy. It sounds like a repetition, but of course in Arabic, in English, when you translate it, you won't translate it. You just say he and the boy returned. So the correct translation would be he. He and the boy returned. So we don't repeat it. We don't say he returned, him and the boy. We don't do all that kind of gymnastics. You just make it clear, he and the boy returned, because that's the intended meaning. Okay. Or the second example, I want to say, me and Fatima, or me and Fatima studied. I don't say darastu wa Fatima, because I know darastu means I studied. So now I just do the connecting. No, it doesn't work like that. I have to bring out the pronoun, which is I, extract it out, then connect that pronoun to an ism. So darastu ana wa Fatima. I and Fatima studied. What would be the i'rab? Or he and the boy be fa'il? Yeah. So the whole thing, the outside, this huwa wal walid or wal walad would be the fa'il, the outside dua together. So this is, you can even see, like, this is the huwa version. So we'll treat that as an outside dua. Raja'a, huwa wal walad becomes the outside dua of raja'a. And that's why when I'm translating, I'm saying he and the boy, which is the outside dua, the fa'il, then we bring in the verb, returned. I and Fatima studied. So this is the outside dua. That's how it's treated. Okay. Last example here. خرجنا هن وأطفالهن. So خرجنا, them ladies, they left or they came out. So hunna, I have to bring it out again if I'm going to attach, connect it to something else, to another ism. So they and their children left or went out. Yeah. So them ladies and their children left. And of course, this becomes the outside fa'il of kharajna. Any questions on that? It's a pretty easy, basic, and it's a good thing we already did atuf, so you understand why we don't do this kind of connection. Because fa'il and isim cannot connect like that. You have to bring in the isim outside, and then you connect the isim to the isim. All right, great. So let's do some basic exercises here from the Quran. So this is a simple basic exercise just to identify what kind of a pronoun we have. And we'll do all the pronouns, including inside, outside, attached, and then referee pronoun, fact of the matter, and the extracted pronoun. Okay. And just to recap, inside pronoun is going to be inside the verb. Outside is going to be an independent pronoun. And then you have attached is going to be an attached pronoun. You're familiar with that. It's going to be attached either to an ism or a fi'al. Referee pronoun is going to be between a mubtada and a khabar, or an ismul ishara, basically, and a khabar. Fact of the matter is going to come, there's not going to be any context before it. Comes at the beginning. It's either huwa or here. And it has, basically, you translate it as the fact of the matter is. And extracted pronoun basically is the pronoun of a verb that is extracted so as to connect to an ism. Okay. Who wants to participate? Okay. So we have Saima, Sultana, and Fauzia. So we'll go in that order. So Saima, you can start the first one.
Attached pronoun.
Yeah. So you can see clearly Rabbi is an ism and the ka is an attached pronoun. So mudaf mudaf ilayh, that's what's happening there. Right. Sultana?
So it is outside pronoun?
Attached. So you can see it is attached to Rabbi. Ka is the attached version of anta. Anta, when you attach it to something, it becomes ka. Remember that?
I'm saying about the second one.
Oh, the second. Oh, yeah,
outside.
sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're answering. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were asking. Okay. Yes. This is yeah, this is outside. Yeah,
Outside
right.
pronoun.
Outside, independent, detached, however you want to call it. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
can be independent, detached. Yeah.
Detached.
Good. Fauzia?
in the help of Allah has come in Badrin wa antum. It looks like it's outside, independent.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the same. Outside, independent, detached, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Can you tell me why this would not be Zamir Shan because it's not Hua or Hiya, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's it. And also because it comes after a waw haliya. So, I mean, yeah, you can most likely just treat it as a normal outside pronoun. Yeah. Okay. Back to you, Saima.
Independent pronoun?
Yeah, again, another independent, outside, attached pronoun. All right.
Well,
Go to the
I have a
next one.
question.
This
Why
is
why isn't it ataf? Because it's okay.
Oh, this other
No.
one is attached. Zawjuka is attached.
No, sorry. The anta was zawjuka. You and your spouse. We just, I'm sorry, I'm
Oh, yeah.
confusing.
Yes. Yeah, sorry, it's not independent. Oh, look, there's a wow. There's ma'tuf, there's atuf. So what is this?
Extracted?
Yes. Yeah, so you see, uskun is a command form. And the pronoun inside uskun is anta, right? So the pronoun inside here is anta. But I want to say you and your wife. So I'm going to extract this anta, bring it outside, and then connect it to zawj. Thank you, Fauzia, for pointing that out. So this is extracted.
So that means we need to be careful if we are saying a pronoun after a verb and there is a ataf, a word connected over
Yes.
there.
Yes.
The actually was, yeah.
Yeah. So we just thought we were like, oh, independent. It's outside,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, we have to be careful. Okay.
this is a fact system. Innahu fact.
Innahu, yes. So you see this whole sentence, Ya bani Adama khudu zinatakum. Khudu? Oh, I think I made a mistake there. It's supposed to be zina. So zinatakum عند كل مسجد. زينتكم عند كل مسجد وكلوا واشربوا. Oh, I messed up this sentence so bad. There's something wrong with this.
Wala tusrifu it was.
Yeah.
This word came. This went up. Yeah.
Okay. So it is okay when I paste it. That's what's happening. So I don't know what's wrong with it. But anyway, yes. So wala tusrifu. Innahu. So this innahu came after that. Yeah. So it's like that. ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين. The fact of the matter is, he doesn't like wasteful people or people who waste stuff. Yeah. So this is fact of the matter. Is that example clear?
Why not certainly?
Alhamdulillah.
You can also say certainly. You can obviously when you're translating inna, you would say certainly. Certainly, the fact of the matter is, he doesn't like musrifin.
So like there was no mention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the above ayahs, so that's why like it's out of context.
Yeah. So it depends. Like you would find some Arab books might translate this as Damiru Sha'n. Some might just go with inna certainly, you know, just a mubtada. But I feel like this one works as a fact of the matter, like a Damiru Sha'n. Yeah. And maybe you can also check in the different Arab books what they say about this one as well, just to understand if they say something different or not. So that'll be a good exercise to do. And by the way, that's something important to know, that, you know, it's not set in stone. Like just because we learned this way, it has to be this way. Like there are so many possibilities. Like for example, in here we can, there are two possibilities. So some grammarians might go this way, some might go this other way. So that's the thing about language. It's very dynamic. It's not static. It's evolving. There are so many angles to it. Some people might see it like this, some people might see it like this. And that's why the Quran is so beautiful, because there's so many lenses through which you can look at it. And it makes it even richer and more beautiful. So it's always good to have that at the back of the mind, that, you know, language is dynamic. There's so many meanings that can be, especially the Quran, can be brought about. Okay, back to Saima.
This is extracted one, Anta.
ما كنت تعلمها أنت.
Like there's a
Yeah.
verb before,
Yeah.
and then the ataf.
Extracted.
And this is manafia, right?
Yes. So this ma and this la. This is manafia, yes. ما كنت تعلمها أنت ولا قومك. So in other words, أنت ولا قومك ما كنت يعني you and your people do not know. So ما كنت تعلمها أنت. How do I say this as an outside doer? It's kind of hard to bring it back. So أنت ولا قومك لم تكن تعلمها. ما علمهم. What is happening here? Yeah,
You
anyway,
and
it is extracted. Yeah?
You and your nation, and then the fail.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to put the fail, but it's not, because it's a whole negation over here.
Ma kuntu will go in past tense, right? Didn't know it from before. You and your nation didn't know it from before.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, basically that's the idea. Okay. Fawzia?
It's not Zamir Shan because it's not Huwa here. It's
Yes.
not referee because it's not between Mubtada and Khabar.
Yes.
So then it's independent.
Beautiful. I like that process. That's a good process to have. Okay. Sultana?
So, here it is attached pronoun.
Mm-hmm.
Yaka.
Mm-hmm.
Which is.
Now this is gonna be a bit tricky. Think about it.
Yaka na'budu. It is indeed you.
So this one is a tricky one. So
Na'budu. Yaka na'budu. Yaka. It is an attached Zamir itself, not sister.
what is it attached to? That's the
It
question.
is attached to the fail.
Which fi'il?
Na'budu.
How?
We worship you.
How is it attached to na'budu?
It should have been na'budu ka, right?
Yes. If it was na'budu ka,
Na'budu
it
ka.
would be attached. It would actually be attached. If it was na'budu ka, it would be attached. We'll call it attached because it's actually attached. But is it really attached?
Okay. No, this is independent now.
Ah.
Yeah,
This
because the khas, right? Takhsis, you told me something.
Yes.
To bring
Yes.
that.
Yeah, just to bring it muqaddam.
Khas. Muqaddam.
Yeah, to make it, yeah, to create ikhtisas. Yes.
Ikhtisas.
How can we have ka as an independent pronoun?
Good
In our,
question.
okay, then you
So
answer it.
here's the thing. Iya does not mean anything in Arabic. Iya has no meaning. Okay? So iya is just a chair. So that's how Ustad explains it. Iya is a chair that ka sits on it. So basically it's just ka. It's anta. Okay? But because this is a maf'ul bihi, we cannot say anta. We cannot say anta. We have to say ka. because it's a maf'ul bihi, it's an attached pronoun. It's a maf'ul bihi. So when we want to basically make a pronoun independent like this, we use iya. Yeah, we use iya to take out that maf'ul. So okay, so the maf'ul bihi was here, right? It was iyak. It was na'buduka, nasta'inuka. That was the initial sentence. But we want to make this ka special. Okay, we want to give it some special. It's still the maf'ul bihi, but we want to give it some takhsis, ikhtisas. So we remove it, and when we remove it, now it just can't be kana na'budu. The Arabs are like, no, that doesn't make sense. We don't want kana na'budu. Let's give it some vava voom, like flair, like a chair, something, you know, it can sit on and it can be comfortable, because this is an attached pronoun. It has to be attached to something. You cannot just have ka floating about. It has to be attached to something. So they're like, okay, fine. Let's say iya. Iya would be the thing, the chair that pronouns would be attached to. You know, like attached pronouns would be attached to, but it's going to be independent. It's going to be on its own. Yeah. So it's not really attached. It's actually independent, because iya is not really a verb. It's nothing. So it's an independent pronoun that is holding the maf'ul bihi. So just be aware of this. Like if you see iyaka, iyakum, iyaya, iyana, if you say iya with any pronoun, that's an independent pronoun of the maf'ul bihi that is being given priority. Is that clear?
So the pronouns, whether it is marfu or mansub, both can be made independent, sister. That is what it is.
Yep.
Rafa or nasab. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, because in this case, it's
But only thing is, it has to be the nasab things should be attached to iya, whereas the rafa will be independent as a huwa, huma, hum. Huh?
100%. Yes, that's it. Yeah. So that's just a distinction, like the Arabs they make. It doesn't stop it from being a maf'ul bihi. It's still a maf'ul bihi. It's still nasab, but it's just independent, because it's not attached to anything, because iya is nothing. So it's now independent. It's just sitting by itself on a chair called iya. That's it.
Sorry, just a digression. I want to ask, did the Arabic language always have the iya chair, or was this Allah Zawjal's way of breaking the grammar and then also supporting it?
Honestly, I don't know. That's something probably I will have to research and find out. But yeah, but the thing is, there are most of the words in the Quran are words that were used by the Arabs. The thing about what Allah did in the Quran is that He used words in a way that were never used before. So the words were there. The Arabs understood them, or not all of them, but at least like those who knew the language properly, the poets and whatnot, they knew most of the words. But the way the Quran used those words is what stood out for them. But I'm not so sure whether iya existed or not. So that's probably something I'd have to find out. All right. I don't know who's doing this one. I lost track of.
Okay, it's
Yes, go ahead.
I'll do with the Fauzia's approach. I really like that one. So I have to check now. Okay. It can't be fasal, the mirul fasal, because it comes in between mubtada and khabar, and there is nothing as such. And then it cannot be the Zamiru Shan, because there is a wow, so that means something was going on before. There is a context.
But what if it's wow for beginning a new sentence?
Oh, is that one? Then we need to know the entire thing before that, because there is no way to find out then.
True.
It can be, I was thinking it to be like a wow halia something, and something was going on before.
Actually, it's not. So it's wow istinafiyya. It's wow beginning a new sentence.
Oh. So he is as a matter of fact. I'm really confused. I can't make out in between like independent and as a matter of fact, the Damirul Shan and the independent one. I'm confused in between those two.
That's actually a good place to be because those are the only options. Yeah. So it can either be independent or it can be the Mirushan. Yeah. So those are the two options. Yeah. So depending on what comes before, like you said, the context of the ayah, if we knew, I should have copied like the whole thing. If we knew what was happening before,
اسم مفعول
before,
محرم. Oh, sorry, just I joined.
It is
so it's
mubtada, sister.
yeah.
It can be mubtada.
Yeah, it can be mubtada if it is an independent pronoun.
Independent.
Yeah, then it will be mubtada. But if it's damiru sha'n, then it would be like fact of the matter is it is haram on you to expel them. And I think this one is fact of the matter, but I will confirm again with the context of the ayah. So yeah, that's a good place to be in. It's either going to be independent or it's going to be fact of the matter depending on what the context is. If it's just a continuation of the discussion that came before, then it's just a normal outside independent pronoun. But if it is out of nowhere and Allah is just saying, you know, actually the fact of the matter is it is haram on you to expel them, to remove them, then that becomes the Mirushan. Yeah, I think we can confirm that from the Arab books. All right. Then we have
The second, this is Zamir Shan. قل إن الهدى الله هو الهدى.
Think about it. Think about it.
إنه كهديجي الله الله كهداية هو الهدى. So it can be independent also, sister.
Yeah, but what is it coming in between? Like if you were to translate this sentence.
It is coming between, okay, Zamirul Fasl. It is coming between
Yes.
Ismo Inna and Khabru Inna. Yeah.
Yes. So this is
Zamir
referee
Fasl.
pronoun. Yeah, the middle fasl. So you can see Inna Hudallahi. This is our mubtada. And then you have a pronoun. And al huda is our khabar. It has al on it. That's why you have huwa. Okay.
Okay. Ji.
Good. Lastly, Fawzia? Or
Same. It's a referee
Yes.
pronoun between the mubtada and the khabar.
exactly. Wa kalimatullahi is our mubtada. And here is the referee pronoun. And this is our khabar. So that's basically what we have for identifying these pronouns. You can see like it's such a small topic, but identifying how or what role it is playing in the Quran, it tells you the meaning, it tells you how to translate, how to understand the ayah. For example, if it's just a normal pronoun, outside independent pronoun, or is it damiru shan? Okay. So let me, we have maybe 5 minutes. Not really a lot of time. I thought we could check some of this. So I'm gonna confirm this one, innahu la yuhibbul musrifin, if it is actually fact of the matter. And which other one? And وهو محرم. There any other questions? So we can take that as I check this. So yeah, so I think this inna is just a normal, probably innahu. Yeah, Adam. يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد وكلوا واشربوا ولا تسرفوا. Sounds like a damiru shan. Why is it? Um, Okay, so basically they haven't mentioned that it's ضمير شأن. I've just checked like maybe 2, but you guys can also help me and check more. We can check more of this if it is really fact of the matter or it's just an attached pronoun. Could be just attached. We can check that. And then وهو محرم عليكم. Let me check that as well. Yeah, so this one وهو محرم عليكم is ضمير شأن. This one at least is okay. So they're saying wow is wow حالية, actually not استئنافية. It's wow حالية, you were right. And هو is مبتدأ وهو المسمى بضمير شأن. وهو المسمى بضمير شأن. So it is the مبتدأ and it is the thing being is the one that is called basically ضمير شأن. And محرم خبر مقدم. So even if it's what they're saying basically, even if it's ضمير شأن, it's still treated as, where am I? Yeah, it's still treated as مبتدأ. Okay. All right. Are there any other questions? That's the end of our topic, ضمير.
All the ضمير الشان can be مبتدا, sister?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. They're saying that in the Arab book. I wasn't sure, but that's what.
But all مبتدا cannot be ضمير الشان.
No.
Okay.
Because you see, mubtada can be so many different things, and sometimes the mubtada is just like a mubtada. It's not giving importance to anything. Yeah. All right. Any other questions before we end? Okay. Great. So tomorrow we are starting a new topic, and basically we're supposed to do fa as-sababiyya because that's what is in the book. But I felt it's important for us to do anwa'u fa, like the different kinds of fa first, before we go into fa as-sababiyya. That way, at least we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can understand the different kinds of fa that are there. There are about 8 different kinds of fa. And then when we go into fa sababiyya, we narrow it down and just it becomes clearer. So I've introduced 1 more topic that is not there in the Bayana curriculum, anwa'u fa. It's going to be a very simple. It's going to be very short. And then we'll continue from there, inshallah. All right, I need to go. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.
جزاك الله خيرا. السلام عليكم.
جزاك الله خير.
وإياكم جزاكم الله خير.